Chapter 28. Playing Hardball. It did not take Grandpa too long to discover that his watch was missing. And I guess he didn't have to walk around trying to figure out where it had gone. He came upstairs the next morning. It was a Sunday, and I was waiting around for Mom and Dad to wake up so I could go downstairs for breakfast. I heard Grandpa coming and grabbed a book so I could be pretending to read. Grandpa knocked on my door ever so lightly, then pushed it open a crack to look in. "Awake, I see," he said. He came in and sat down in my rocker. He was wearing his pajamas, robe, and slippers. "A funny thing happened this morning," he said. "I went to slip my watch on, and guess what? It seemed to be missing from my dresser." "Is that so?" I said in a casual way. "That's a fact." "Well," I said, "maybe there was a thief who came into the house last night and stole it." "Don't think so," Grandpa said, "seeing as how my wallet was on the dresser too, right next to my watch, and it wasn't even touched. I had quite a few dollars in it too." "Maybe it was a very dumb thief," I said, "or a thief who needed only a watch." Grandpa looked at me and grinned. I didn't blame him. What I'd said sounded stupid to me, too. "How come you didn't leave a note?" Grandpa said. "I think we're past all that," I said. "Maybe so." "I took your watch," I said. "We both know that." Grandpa kind of shook his head a little. "I was kind of thinking maybe our little war was over," he said, "especially after yesterday. I had a good time fishing with you, Pete. You're very good company." "Well," I said, "it wasn't your average kind of day for me either. I had one of the best days of my life with you. But," I said, and sort of shrugged, "it doesn't change things, Grandpa." "So I see." "There's something I want and you have, and I don't know what else to do except fight for what's mine," I said. "Too bad," Grandpa said. "But look, Petey, I have a special reason for wanting my watch back. It was a gift from Grandma, you see, on our 40th wedding anniversary. I treasure it, son." Well, now I felt like the most miserable, low-down person in the whole wide world. But I wasn't about to give up. "It's in a safe place, Grandpa," I said, "and I'll take good care of it." I didn't have to take care of it at all, because it was wrapped up nice and snug in a pair of my white socks and hidden away in a tennis ball can in the bottom of my camp trunk. "I could probably find it if I looked," Grandpa said. "I don't think so," I said. "I'm pretty good at looking," Grandpa said. "When you're in school, Pete, I've got all day to turn this place over." "You could look for 1,000,000 years and never find it," I said. Grandpa sighed and rocked a few times in the chair. "I'd rather you handed it back yourself," he said. "No way," I said. "Not until you give me my room back." "I've heard that before," he said. "How about if I say please?" "Look, Grandpa," I said, "all you have to do is tell Mom and Dad that you want to switch rooms with me. That's easy, isn't it?" Grandpa took a long look in my eyes, rocking so gently in my chair. "You're really like a broken record, you know that?" he said. "I only want what's rightly mine," I said. "So," Grandpa said, "now we're playing hardball, eh?" "I'm not playing," I said. "No room, no watch." "Fair enough," Grandpa said. He got up and slowly walked to the door. "But from now on," he said, "you'd better watch out." Chapter 29. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. Did you ever know something terrible was going to happen, but you didn't know when? That's the way I felt that whole time when Grandpa waited before striking back at me. It was real smart of him. Diabolical, if you want to know the truth. I walked around going crazy for about a week. I mean, it's hard to be calm when someone is going to do something to you and you don't know what it is or when it is going to happen. I lay awake without sleeping a few nights, wondering when the blow was going to come down. It reminded me of this story about an old Greek guy named Damocles who went to a party where they hung a sword over his head by a hair. It had to be either a very skinny sword or a very fat hare. But either way, it couldn't have been too comfortable to be waiting for that sword to come down and slice you into human chicken parts. I felt like I was in a dentist's office, waiting my turn, wondering how much it was going to hurt. It's the same feeling I get in school just before a test when everything I study just jumps out of my head. You could ask me my own name just before a test and I might not know it. And Grandpa was teasing me, which didn't help a bit. "You look nervous," he'd say. "I am, for goodness sakes," I'd say. "I wish you'd do something already." "Patience," he'd say with a funny smile that gave me a chill. Psychological warfare, right? I mean, he was messing with my mind. And the more he waited, the more messed up I got. I left one of my school books home one day. Just plain forgot it. I knew why. Because I was too busy worrying over what kind of trick he was going to pull on me. Grandpa told me a joke one afternoon. It was about a guy who lived below a man who took off only one shoe when he got into bed at night. The man below couldn't hardly sleep, waiting for the other shoe to drop. I didn't think it was very funny.